Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is a global vitiligo awareness and education podcast. You will hear the true and authentic stories from people living with vitiligo. You'll also hear from their loved ones, medical professionals, licensed mental health therapists, relationship counselors, global vitiligo support foundations and organizations, community leaders, and so much more. Sit back and enjoy Living Life and Love. Once again, I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. Welcome to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. So on today's show, I have a very special guest, Myrella from Puerto Rico. We're going to get into some discussions about vitiligo. Yes, and then we'll get into some discussions about the holiday season and various traditions. And I have something very special at the very end of the podcast. So before we get started with our conversation, I'd like to welcome Myrella to the show. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for having me, Mark.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Before we really dig into our discussion, I want you to officially introduce yourself, maybe share where you're from and anything else you feel like that's of importance, but don't give too much away because we're going to have our discussion.
Yeah, my name is Myrella. I am from Puerto Rico. I am a mother of a 18 years old kid because he will always be my kid. So yeah, and I am very happy to be here today and share my journey with you guys.
Absolutely. And once again, welcome to the show. And for our viewers, you're probably saying, what is up with him and his hat and the Captain America shirt? Yes, right. All right. First of all, we are rocking our holiday gear. Yes, I got my Santa hat. I'm rocking the blue one because blue is one of my favorite colors. And then Myrella has her reindeer candy cane ears, antlers, horns,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call them, with mistletoes on them. And I'm rocking my Captain America shirt because those who know me, Captain America is one of my favorite heroes. And now we've got Sam Wilson as Captain America coming out February 14th. I'm getting ready for it. That's right. I will be in the theaters first thing. I might even take that day off of work. Anyway, we're not here to talk about my fandom or any of that. We're here to talk a little bit about vitiligo because this is a vitiligo awareness and education podcast, although I don't always talk about vitiligo. So starting off, Myrella, you have vitiligo.
Yes, I do.
Yes. I know some people are like, well, I thought vitiligo was just, on your face, just on your arm, just on your shoulder, just vitiligo could be anywhere. So as she shows her hands.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, put your hands up again. But you have to say something because I think the camera's going to stay on me as long as you don't say anything.
Okay. Well, this is my hands, and yes, I have a vitiligo through my body. I have it in my face. I have it in my chest. I have it in my legs.
That's vitiligo. And here's the thing: people assume, and we're going to get into that a little bit later, that because you're a lighter person, that people can't tell you have vitiligo. Let me say this: we have melanin in our skin. It gives us our color. I don't care whether you're dark or light, you still have color in your skin. When you have vitiligo, you have no color whatsoever. That is pure white. There's no color there. So I just wanted to put that out there because people have some misconceptions about vitiligo. Can you share with our listeners, when did your journey start and what were your feelings about it?
Yeah, basically it started 13 years ago. I first noticed after a day on the beach, I noticed that I started having some, white spots in my face. So yes, I went to the doctor and yeah, he diagnosed me very quickly. Yes, girl, you have vitiligo. So it was a little shocking at the beginning because, as you may know, you don't know what to expect.
Right.
It's gonna go through all my body, or it's gonna stay there, it's gonna disappear, and I will get my pigmentation back again. But yes, I was a little frustrated. And to be honest, I wasn't thinking that much at that time about me. My worry at that moment was my kid, because he was, by that time he was like 5 years old. So I have to take him to the school and to the, sports game. So I was worried about how other people will react when they see me, in those places, and how those comments or stares are going to be impacting his life and how he's going to manage that. Um, uh, with the time, I can say that, yeah, I am managing my condition. It's not that I am like always like, well, like dealing super perfectly with
Right.
it. I have my days in which like, oh yeah, those are the stairs again. But I have learned through the process how to cope with those things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, for people that don't know about vitiligo, yes, we have our moments. Once you get to the level of acceptance, that doesn't mean you're through every aspect of it, that you could just live life and go, you know what, I'm free. And no, you have those moments where it could be a stare, it could be somebody's reaction, whether it's their facial reaction or going to shake somebody's hand and you can tell they don't want to touch you, or sometimes it's a comment somebody makes. It can set you back at that time. And I say moment because it doesn't last forever. Eventually you'll get over it because you still got to live your life. But and I just experienced one last night. I went to an event and it was nice. There was a lot of people there, and I was getting food. And if anybody knows about vitiligo, when there's like a black light or one of those fluorescent lights or whatever, it makes your skin kind of glow. And the light was purple. Thank you, because it made my skin glow purple where I have no pigmentation. And there's an older lady in front of me getting food, and she did a double take. She kind of looked. I looked again, and I was like, "Oh crap, here we go." And then finally, she looked up and just kind of like, "Hi," and I could tell she was uncomfortable. But I'm like, I'm getting food just like you. I'm here to eat, and socialize. Although I didn't do a lot of that. But it's still those moments where people are not comfortable. And I think because people are not aware or educated enough about our condition, and I will in the future have more people come on the show to talk more about vitiligo so people can understand it and also understand melanin, because I don't think they understand it. Now, let me ask you this before we get to some of the other topics related to vitiligo, but this is kind of related. You're a researcher. Can you explain to maybe some of the listeners about melanin or melanocytes for those who don't know, maybe?
Yes, I can. Well, melanocytes are the cells that, if I have to explain that's my explanation to someone when they ask me, like, in a party or wherever I am. Like, melanocytes are the cells that are in charge of giving, like, the color of your skin. So for any reason, like, our body, in people with vitiligo, our body get like a little confused and attack things that it wasn't supposed to be attacking. Like if remember that when we got sick, that
Mhm.
our body reacts with our immune system to get rid of the virus or the bacteria.
Right.
Well, in this case, our body, for some reason, a little confused and attack the cells that are our own cells. So that's why we start losing pigmentation, because they get rid of our melanocytes.
So, in talking about melanocytes, what I've learned just on research, a lot of people think melanocytes are only in the skin, it's in the hair, gives us our eye colors. There's a little bone in the ear with melanocytes. They're starting to realize that melanocytes are in the brain, gives brain the different colors of the parts of the brain. So it's very interesting. And one of my goals is to have one of the dermatologist from GVF to come on to really dig deeper into the melanocytes and how they impacts us. Let me ask you this, and I don't know if it's just me, but I've had one other person say they experience this too. When you're out in the sun and the sun is beaming on your skin, do you feel like your body temperature rises or gets extra hot because of the lack of melanocytes?
Well, I can say like, as I said, I am from Puerto Rico, so
Right.
our temperatures are always like above 95. So yes, trust me that I can experience like my skin like burning just by going out of work and walking through the parking to get into my car. It feels like being like the whole day out when it is almost like maybe like 1 minute. But yes, I can feel like my skin actually burning. Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was just me, but I find in the summer I'm always hot. Like even when the AC's on, I'm hot, but then when I go outside, it's like, oh my gosh, I can feel the heat on the parts of my body without the melanocytes. And we got to remember that's protecting us. Melanocytes are protecting us from the UV rays. We still got to put on sunscreen and all that stuff. But I just wanted to know if anybody else experiences that because there are a lot of interesting things that happen with vitiligo. Do you get the weird vitiligo itch when you're losing color?
If I got what? Excuse me.
The strange, weird vitiligo itch,
Oh
like when
yeah.
you have to.
Yes, I'm always like, and even my mom said, like, Mireya, what happened? What happened? Because sometimes I am in the, in a place and it's like, yes, I'm sure that I got a shower before coming here, but yeah, like I'm always scratching
Yeah,
myself, like,
it is a weird. It's a weird experience because my feet are like that. Like my feet are probably the whitest part of my body. My hands are catching up. But when I'm losing more color, it itches. And I've mentioned that on another podcast. I don't care what you put on it. You can put piles of lotion, you can put itch cream. It doesn't help. It's whatever's happening inside the body with the melanocytes disappearing. We can feel it. And is that you have to scratch it. And you're just and for people listening to this, there's nothing wrong with us. Don't think that, ooh, they got an itch. And no, it's just where our bodies, we can
yeah,
actually feel, I feel like we can feel when our body's attacking itself. And that's
yes,
that result of it. Yeah, don't go around thinking, oh, people with vitiligo, they walk around scratching themselves. No, 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 it's not like that. Don't get the wrong idea, people.
no,
Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about your vitiligo journey. Let's bypass treatments because I know you've mentioned in the past you've gone to get treatments. And let me say this to people with treatments. Treatment is something that's temporary. It doesn't last forever. You can't use it on all of your body. You can only use it in small portions of it. And even sometimes they'll tell you it depends on how long you've had vitiligo, whether the treatment's going to work or not. And Opsilor is probably the best treatment on the market right now. So let's bypass that. And we'll get into some other questions. But if there was a cure that Dr. Huggins, Dr. Harris, Dr. somebody came up with this magic cure and said vitiligo can be cured, would you take it at this stage of your life?
well, if it can be cured, yes, of course
Yeah,
I will. Of course I will. And I am hoping that I am still alive to hear those great news from
right,
Dr. Hollins, from Dr. from all those amazing doctors that are working right now, at our set. But treatment, I am uh, not willing to get more treatments right now. But
right,
if they find a cure, of course I will. Yes.
right. And I struggled with that because at first I said, no, I would not do a cure because this is such a part of my life and this is who I am and people don't like it and they need to accept it. All these things we say. But if I felt that, okay, Dr. Harris is probably the closest that we know of that he's getting close to a cure, but with that comes the test and there are some other things that needs to happen before it can be put out there and it may not happen in our lifetime or it may, we don't know. um But if there was a cure, I think I would take it at this stage because I would like to have my natural color back, which is, I'm light brown and got a little tan and a little redness here there. Um, yes, I have vitiligo. I've accepted it, but I think most of us would like to have our natural complexions. Um, you don't want to have to take off your sock, and people don't know whether you took your sock off or not because your feet and the socks are the same color. That's not fun. Or you want to go to the beach, you want to wear swim trunks or for ladies bathing suits or whomever, and you don't want the attention to be your spots because they're all over. And it's just, I think in the grand scheme of life, we all want to feel the natural part of being a human being. We just want to be able to blend in and enjoy life. But with vitiligo, no matter what you do, we're going to stand out. No matter where we go, we're going to stand out.
Yes.
Even if we try to blend in, we're still going to stand out. It happens. Now, let me ask you this, Medea. In terms of vitiligo, because I feel like the one fear a lot of us have if you have kids is that your kids will develop vitiligo and that may impact them. And I know with your family history, it's a little bit different. Can you share that journey, like with you and your son, and then where you guys are at this stage in your lives, where he is and where you are?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Like the first time that I went to the World Vitiligo Day conference in Minnesota, honestly, yes, I went because I want to to know more people like me, but the main reason was because at that time my son got diagnosed with alopecia, and I was looking like for answers, how to deal with it, how I can help him. And yes, I remember going to the conferences, and I remember talking with Stephen,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him about my son's situation, and he said that yeah, you have to talk with Dr. Harris, you have to talk with Dr.
Right.
Robbins, and I went to the round tables when the doctors were there, and I was asking them more about alopecia rather than than vitiligo, but yeah, they because the mechanism of the condition are pretty much similar.
Similar, right?
It's our body attacking our body. So they were very open to answer all my questions, and yeah, that didn't give me a little of peace. And coming back to Puerto Rico and dealing with the situation. And I have to be very honest about saying that yes, I was worried about how he's going to manage
Right.
his situation because I don't know. He's a basketball player, a volleyball player. He's a student. And he has a girlfriend. How he's gonna manage? He will be quitting all the things that he likes to do just because he's losing his hair, or how I can keep him, motivated to keep doing those things. And guess what? I remember Mark telling me in the table when we were in the conference, telling me like Mireya, like sometimes you are worried more about kids, and kids are amazing and they can impress you. Like you are worrying so much about him, probably more than he actually is. So
Right.
let him be. You are going to be there for him, but let him be. So yes, that's exactly what happened. Like yes, I came back. I told him about some treatments that are available and that he can take as Dr. Harris suggests me. But yeah, I think that my journey, how he growing up, saw me dealing with my condition, how her mother still was willing to go to his games, to do her daily life activities, going to work. Seeing me, he seeing me doing that, help him to keep doing his things.
Right.
And yes, that I think that everything happened for a reason. And I don't know if maybe me having vitiligo was something good that he can just take as a role model, and yeah, help him through his process. And right now he's doing very well. Yes, he still have some patches,
Right.
but that didn't stop him for doing the things that he likes, and that makes me super happy. So
Hey, hey, I want to add this. People find strength in our journeys. Um, Sometimes we, in particular, our students, our kids, our children, they're watching us and they watch how we interact with other people. They watch how we live our lives. If he saw you falling apart and bawling every day, not to say you didn't, but if he saw it every single day, that could impact how he may see himself. But he saw you going to work, doing the things you enjoy to do, doing it, interacting with people, giving presentations. And that gives, I think, for the people that love us, that gives them strength to say, if that person can do it, I can too, because no matter what, when you look at our condition like vitiligo, it doesn't stop you from doing anything. It does not stop you. You're physically able to get out there and run, jump, talk, scream, whatever you're going to do. Um, it just makes you look different to the world. We stop ourselves because we become depressed, we become anxious, we deal with all these other internal things that come out on the outside. Because I deal with that too, where yes, I'm gonna go to this event, I'm ready. Then I'm like, I'm not, by vitiligo. So then
mhm.
I become introverted more than I already am and not enjoy certain things. So I
But
think real quick, I was just gonna say, I think we have to look at our journey and continue on that journey and realize that our kids are watching us and they model a lot of their lives after us, whether we realize it or not, positive and negative.
yes, yes, and I can say that uh, very early when I got diagnosed. At the beginning, I was always like going through to his basketball games or whatever, and I used to have makeup on my face. And I remember one day that I said like, "Hi Carlitos, today I'm not going to wear makeup because it's Puerto Rico, it's summer, it's super hot, and
Right.
I don't want to wear makeup and I have allergies." And he just looked at me, and he was like, I don't know, 6 years old. And he looked at me and he's like, Mom, be yourself, like
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that if I have to pick a moment in where I say like, that's true, like that, it was that moment when he said that to me. And yes, I wear makeup when I want to wear makeup,
Right. Right.
but not because it's not because I want to please people. I wear makeup when because it makes me feels good, and whenever it makes me feels good. Because if for example, I come here every day to work and I wear no makeup at all, like no makeup, like I would just wash my face and that's it, because I work with animals, I work with experiments and microscopes. So I just decided, no, I'm not going to wear makeup. But if I go to a party or something and I feel that I want to,
Right.
because I want to enhance
Right. Right.
enhance my my eyes or whatever, then I do it. But
Absolutely.
if I have allergy and I don't want, or if super hot in the day, I just don't do it. But I learned that from my 6-year-old kid at that moment. Yeah.
We can learn a lot from our students and our children. I keep saying students because I'm a teacher. And the one thing I've learned is that they don't care about my vitiligo. They care about me, but they don't care about my vitiligo. I may be more concerned with it. They want to know, are you going to teach me today? Oh, you made me smile. You made me happy. Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh, you did that silly dance, or whatever I did. I'm silly at times, but I realize they are not focused on what my skin looks like at all. They are not. I am, but honestly, most days I forget I have vitiligo because I'm focused on I'm driving to work, I'm getting my breakfast or whatever I'm doing. I get to work, I got to get my grades ready. Grades, got to get my lesson plans out. I got to teach this. Oh, computer's not working. Okay, how do I connect to the internet? The printer's not working. Oh, great. I'm not thinking my vitiligo, no, that is the last thing I'm thinking about until or unless somebody says something, which we have a student every day. She walks by my door and she goes, I love you, vitiligo. I'm like, thank you. I don't know who she is. She's new to our school, but obviously she knows somebody with vitiligo. And most days I don't even see her. I just hear her as she's passing by the door and she goes, I like you, vitiligo. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I
Um, go
I
ahead.
I had an experience in which I was in a basketball game with my kid, and there are a lot of kids there, and one little kid was like looking at me, and he was like trying to walk towards me
Mhm.
until and his parents were there, like like, oh my god, like freaking out, and I just say, like, like, don't worry, like, let him be. So he came and he started like looking into my hands, and what do you have? Oh, well, I have vitiligo. Does it hurt you? No, it doesn't. Can I touch you? Yes, you can. You can touch me. And he asked me what vitiligo is, and I explained, in the more basic
Right.
situation that I mean way that I that I can, because he was very little. And then afterward, right afterward, he was like, Can you buy me ice cream? And I was like, well, yeah, if your parents agree, I can, of course. So yes, I agree with what you are saying. Like, yeah, they're curious. Like, it doesn't bother me when a kid asks me. I just like try to explain in the best way possible. But yeah, they are just curious. You answer,
Right.
and then they were okay. Let's go play. Let's go
Right.
get ice cream. Like, they don't judge you.
Right. And the adults do. Now, I want to bring up something that happened to you a few years ago. I don't know if you remember about the gentleman that was homeless that had vitiligo. I at least assume he was homeless.
Mm,
I don't, you shared this with me. I don't know if it was last year or year before. There was a gentleman that, like, he looked suspicious, but he wanted to talk to you. He wanted to share that he had vitiligo.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, he was just like, because of the COVID, he was with the mask or whatever.
Right. There it is. Yeah.
He just like approached to me in the gas station, and he started like, talking like, very enthusiastic and doing like things with his hands. And at that time I was with my father was in the car, and my father like get out of the car thinking that he was going to attack me or doing something. At the end, what he wanted to share with me is like, he took the mask, like, no, I have what you have, like, and I was like, yes, you do. So it's just like people may not get it, because why we get so enthusiastic when we saw another person,
Right.
or when we see another person with the same condition. But the thing is that, yeah, we are 1 to 2% in the world. So every
Right.
time that we find someone, um, sometimes you don't know how to do the approach. I used
Right.
to like to smile, like, yeah, like, acknowledge that you have the thing that I have. But yeah, I don't blame him, because like he just want to share with me, like, yeah, we're the same. So yeah, I'm very open to receive those approaches. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And it made me think about last night. I think there was probably almost 100 people at this event. So 99 people, and then it was me. Like, I'm that 1% in there. I have vitiligo. I'm different. But it's a lot of our inner circles. There are people out there with vitiligo, but sometimes we don't run into them. Um, unless we're having an event. But just in my everyday travels, I don't see people with vitiligo. And I could go months without seeing anybody with vitiligo unless we agree we're going to get together and do this activity. And it's just like that. But then there are some people, depending on where you live, they say they see people all the time. And I'm like,
Mhm.
wow. So let me ask you this, and then we're going to switch gears a little bit. So on the island of Puerto Rico, how, just think about since you've been there all your life, how many people do you think you've seen with vitiligo?
I mean, like I can be like weeks going out to the market, to the
Right,
movie, to the and without seeing anyone like me.
right.
Like very few people. I know that there is a guy that work in the supermarket. Yes, like I recognize him, but it's not very common. I cannot
Yeah,
say like I can see like daily if I that every time that I go out I will see at least one person. No, it
right,
doesn't work like that. Like it's very rare. I can see maybe twice a month someone with vitiligo. But yeah, it's not that
right.
common.
And for our listeners, I just wanted people to understand that it is rare. Um, and it's rare because we live on this gigantic planet, and you would think in our everyday travels we were running into people with our condition and it's normalized. No, it's not. We want to normalize it. Like when I do my podcast, my discussions, I talk about any and everything because I'm a human being first, but I live with vitiligo. Well, excuse me, correction. Let me fix that. It lives with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has to live with me. I'm not living for it. And I say it because it's I can't, it has a name, but this is me. And so whatever I do, vitiligo has to say, Dad, we going for a ride again? We going in the shopping center again? We going to the movies again? So before I used to do it the other way. I'm gonna go to the movies. I got vitiligo. Well, at least it's dark. Nobody can see it until the light from the screen shines on it. Then it, yeah.
Yes.
So I had to change my mindset. I have to really focus and say, I'm living my life. Vitiligo's got to live with me. So whatever choice I make, it has to go with me instead of
Yes.
the opposite way around. Because when I did it the other way, I wouldn't do stuff. I wouldn't go to the to like to the beach because I had vitiligo. I wouldn't go to a pool because I have vitiligo. I was afraid to really socialize with people because I have vitiligo. Now I don't socialize a lot because I'm introverted, so it is what it is.
Yes.
um, let's all right. Let's anything else you want to share about vitiligo before we switch gears?
Not talking about that, like about living life. Like, yeah, I start like really talking. The first time that I talk about my condition, like meaning openly, was in the conference or with you, but it's not something that I am always talking about my condition. If
Right,
people ask me, yes, but it's not that I woke up like, okay, good morning, I have vitiligo. No, no,
right,
I am not like that. So I choose to do things that normal people do. Maybe I have to take precautions, maybe
right,
because
right,
I live in an island. Of course, I go to the beach. Of course, I like to go to the beach. You are invited any time to come. But yes, I cannot stop going to the beach. But of course,
right,
I have to maybe use rash guards and do use protections or whatever. But I can still go to the beach. I like to do. Now I'm taking like salsa dance lessons.
right,
Those things. I recently went to the beach to do a 6 a.m. in the morning yoga class. I like to go out to a restaurant just to listen music. I like to sing. Like I think that as you say, like yeah, vitiligo, you have to go with me to those
right,
places. But it's not like my choices will be like based in the condition that I have, because yeah, and guess what? You may have diabetes, you may
right.
have whatever arthritis. Like yeah, you have to have the precautions, but I think that the best way to go with that is to still doing things as you were used to.
Absolutely. If I moved to the side, living life, you have to live your life. That is a hard lesson to learn for some of us. I had a hard lesson to learn with that because I wasn't living to my potential up until I said, okay, I accept this is what my skin looks like. It's unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen with it. People ask all the time, do you think you'll lose more pigmentation? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. I might. I have some discoloration underneath my neck. It has been one spot for many years, for probably almost 20 something years. And now all of a sudden starting to spread. Oh well, I'm starting to get a spot up here where my gray hair is. Now it's starting to turn white underneath it. Oh well, it's gonna yeah, it's gonna do whatever it's gonna do, but I can't stop doing the things I enjoy. I can't stop living my life and pausing to say, all right, vitiligo, you do what you're gonna do. I'm just gonna sit here and no, I can't do that. No. And I wouldn't want anybody else to do that. And for people who feel that you're stuck, find a support community, find a group, or if not, find somebody you can talk to share these things. Don't keep it to yourself. Get the support you need, or find a therapist that can help you. Um, you might have to educate the therapist a little bit on vitiligo, but also share with them how you feel about it. That's what's going to be important. All right. So we are going to transition to something different. This is the highlight of this conversation because this is going to be my last show for 2024 before 2025 hits. And I want to talk about the holiday season. That's why I'm rocking my blue and white Santa Claus hat. You have your candy
Yay.
canes up there. Yes. So we know every place in the world that celebrates Christmas, the holiday seasons, they have different traditions. Sometimes here in the US, we think everybody celebrates the same thing, the same way, at the same time. And that's not necessarily true. Even home to home, like my house here, we celebrate different than our neighbor. And our neighbor celebrates differently than their neighbor. But what I wanted to do is find out more about how do you celebrate I'm gonna say the holiday season because you may not call it Christmas, or you may call it Christmas, but you may call it something else. How do you celebrate the holiday season in Puerto Rico?
Well, in Puerto Rico, Christmas season is very festive. We basically start, Christmas celebrations the day after Thanksgiving, and it will last like until Octavitas, and Octavitas means like 8 days after Trekking Days, which is in January. So we have people said that we have the longest Christmas ever in Puerto Rico. And yeah, they're very festive. We have what we call parrandas, and that you guys call like Christmas carol, right?
Carols, yes.
Yeah. So here in Puerto Rico, we call it like parrandas. And we use a lot of instruments that I have with me here because I want to show you because they're very difficult to explain. But yes, in parrandas, what happened is that let's say that we are in one house, like having dinner or whatever, and we invited Mark, and Mark for any reason didn't come to the dinner, and we said, guess what? It is like 11 p.m. Let's go to Mark's house, and we're going to give him a parranda. And we go in the night, and Mark here in Puerto Rico, like people in Christmas, they always have like they bought things because they know that they can receive a parranda like at any point during Christmas. So we go all together with instruments, and we yell like parranda in front of his house, and Mark is sleeping, and he's like, oh God, I have to wake up to receive my friends. And he opened his doors, and we start singing and eating and having a good day. And after that, we say, okay, let's go to Alicia's house. And we go there, and we might come with us, and we go to Alicia's house, and we keep, playing music and whatever. And about the instruments, we use maracas. I got the maracas because I don't know the translation.
Yes.
I don't know. This is maracas. We have the panderos.
The tambourine, yeah, just hold it up.
And we have the güiro. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
know what a güiro is.
Well, hold it up so they can see it. Okay.
This is a güiro. And Mark, how you call this?
Well, here in the US, and we call it a pick, and we use it for a different purpose. Those in the African American community, we use it to pick our hair,
Well, but
pick our hair out.
here
But
we
you
use
use it
it
for a
too.
different purpose.
You can hear. We use it too.
Put it closer to your microphone.
You hear it?
Yes.
That's how it sounds. So we combine all the things, and we use the palitos, the sticks. Yes, that's how we do all the music and whatever and celebrate the parrandas until 8 days after the drinking days. And yeah, the drinking days is my favorite days. Yes, I like Santa Claus and whatever, and we celebrate here like Santa Claus and whatever. But me talking, we my favorite day is like the drinking days, in which we celebrate. This is most of the people in Puerto Rico celebrate the biblical journey, in which the three kings
Right.
follow the star to Belen and to see the newborn Jesus. So here in Puerto Rico, we celebrate that. What we do? Okay, we go out. That's my favorite part. We go out and we took a box, a shoebox,
Hmm.
and you can decorate the box and whatever. When you go out with your kids, and you put like grass inside, and then you put it under your bed. Some people put it under the Christmas tree, but the tradition is to put it under your bed. So the day after, when you receive the gift from the three kings, you can see like all the grass, the parents, like all the grass is all over the place because the three kings came. And yeah, we celebrate that. We even have a town here, it's called Juanadías,
Hmm.
in which we received that day. We received more than 25,000 people from around the
Wow.
world. And I invite all of you to come to for that celebration. It's very nice, and it has been celebrated for more than 135 years right by now. The people come, and in the downtown, it is very decorated in music and food and whatever, and all the people there are waiting for the three kings to come in the in here we don't have camels, but we have horses.
Right.
So the kings are very, and yeah, it's a beautiful tradition. So yeah, and we have a lot of food during Christmas. Yeah, you have to do diet afterwards. So here in Puerto Rico, if you come for vacation during Christmas, get prepared to gain like 10 pounds at least, because we eat a lot of mofongo. You know what
Yes.
mofongo is? Mira what I brought. See what I brought. I got a pilon. You know what a pilon is?
Yes.
Okay, so we took the plantain, we fried the plantain, the green plantains. We fried the green plantains, and then we mash it up here.
Hmm.
And we call it mofongo. So we eat a lot of mofongo during Christmas, rice with green pigeon peas, and we eat pork and coquito.
Mm.
Remember coquito? Coquito is like eggnog,
Yes.
but we don't use eggs. We use like different kind of meals and cinnamon and vanilla, and but you can add liquor, but yes, it's like an eggnog. So yeah, you're very welcome anytime, people from around the world to Puerto Rico
Now,
for Christmas.
is there any traditional songs? Because here we've got the playlist of all the Jingle Bells and the Holly Jolly Christmas and I saw Bobby kissing Santa Claus and all that stuff that plays. Do y'all have any just that's strictly for Puerto Rico? Like any particular holiday songs that you guys sing?
Yeah,
You don't have to sing it. I'm just asking.
I
But
know.
if you
Don't
if
make
you want to sing, you can. But I'm
Don't
not
make
gonna.
me do that. Don't make me do that. Yeah, we call. We have a lot of songs. We have "Dame la mano Paloma." I don't know how to translate that. My favorite one is the Cardenalito. Uh,
I'm listening.
no, this is my favorite song ever. I don't know why, but yeah, it is like. It says in one part, it says like, y por eso es rojo, y por eso es rojo el cardenalito. It's like a red cardinal
Okay.
song. But yes, I love that. But yeah, Dame la mano paloma, traigo esta trulla. We have a lot of songs that we use during Christmas. Yes,
Right.
we sing your music too in English. But yeah, if you come here, you're going to hear like a lot of Puerto Rican songs during Christmas. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And for the listeners again, what I viewers, listeners, viewers, watchers, um, subscribers, what I wanted to really do is have this experience where they can learn about traditions in other parts of the world, especially during this holiday season. You shared a lot, and I greatly appreciate that. Because I feel like if I say education awareness, we're not just talking about vitiligo. We're talking about being educated and aware about other cultures around the world, and this is a great time to do so. I will have other people sending in videos to share what they do during their holiday traditions. I have one coming from Trinidad, one from the Czech Republic. Then I have some people here right in the US that are going to share some of their traditions as well. So as soon as I have those things, they will be incorporated into this video so our viewers can watch. Because I think it's important for us to understand that no matter where you're at in the world, we're all one big family. You know, yes, we have squabbles, yes, we have differences, and sometimes with those differences, we tend to take those out on people, but in the grand scheme of things, we don't even understand why we don't like somebody. We're all human beings on the same planet, and at this time of year we should be showing love and showing people that we appreciate you, we appreciate your culture, we appreciate, you know, your traditions, and we value, all these things about you because it makes us all unique in our own very special way. And that's what I wanted to have you on, not just to talk about vitiligo, but to be able to have this opportunity to share, about your culture.
Yeah.
Because we're biased, we go, oh yeah. And for people, just remember, Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico are US citizens too.
Yes, yes, we are, and even if we weren't, like, I really want to share my culture with you guys.
Absolutely.
And I am a person that I really like to learn about other cultures and try new things. I like to travel because I like to learn about other cultures. And I remember Alicia sharing in one Zoom activity a recipe of hash brown.
Yes.
And we don't do that in Puerto Rico, but guess what? That was my Thanksgiving recipe last year, just because I text Alicia to, okay, can you send me the recipe? So we learn from other cultures, and
Right.
we adapt those things to your culture too. So it was, everyone here was like, oh, that was super good. So yes, yeah, I have traveled. I have go other places during Christmas to see Christmas lighting, and because here we don't have that, but
Right.
those scenarios, that makes me happy. That makes me, you know that even if I am not part of their culture, I can learn, and I can learn from them. So I think that is important. And as you said, we become like a family.
Right.
Like I
Right.
can say that I have here people in my, even in my Facebook, in my phone, numbers, that I can call friends, that I actually can call friends, that check on me, that see my sons doing volleyball game, and they text me like, "Whoa, Mireya, that was cool." So we become family, and when we reach out and we have going out, when we were to into the conference, and we want to see this person again, like, hey, like, how are you? Like,
Right.
I have been seeing you through your Facebook, like, yeah, like we become family, and
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I greatly appreciate it. Um, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. But as you know, I always like to ask my guests to leave words of encouragement for the listeners. So I'm going to give you a couple of seconds as I'm talking and just stalling right now to think of what you want to say to our listeners. And guess what? I'm going to turn it over to you right now. I said a couple of seconds. So here we go. Just share with
okay.
them words of encouragement or something positive.
Yeah, I just want to say that, life is about little moments, and you have to make the most of them. That you have to surround with people that value you, because anyone can like you, but not everyone will be willing to value you. And that you have to keep smiling. That yes, you can been through difficult times. We all through difficult times, and you have to validate those feelings of sadness because of a situation and go through the process, but always with the hope that you're going to smile again, because we have a lot of blessings to and good reasons to keep smiling.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for those words of encouragement. And before I wrap things up, I do want to say to the vitiligo community, several of us are going through the holiday seasons without loved ones. There are several people right now that I know of that just recently have lost people that they truly love. So sending my prayers, thoughts, and condolences to those families. Um, and I say, let's continue to show love to each other, continue to pray for each other, continue to keep each other in our thoughts, and be mindful that if you don't hear from someone, they could be going through something challenging. Um, oh, they may not. They just could be just internally dealing with, they could be exhausted. They could be maybe depressed. They could be just needing that moment of silence away from the noise of social media. We don't know what people are dealing with and what they're going through. So let's continue to really reach out to each other. So on that note, this is living life in love. So I want you guys to continue to live your lives to the best of your ability. But you don't have to live life alone. You have family, you have friends. When you need those people, reach out. It may not be consistently all the time, but still reach out in those moments, even if it's just to say hi. Sometimes that's all we need. Um, but most of all, make sure you are loving yourself. I always end with that. I'll talk about loving other people, but it is important for us to love ourselves, because that's where it all starts. It is hard for other people to love you if they don't see you loving you. So look in the mirror and tell yourself, say, hey, I know it's the holiday season. I'm going through a hard time, but I still love you. And we're going to get through this together. Tell that to yourself. So you've been listening to Living Life and Love. I'm your host, Mark Braxton from Raleigh, North Carolina. My special guest is Myrella from Puerto Rico. So you want to say adios or anything?
Bye, adios in Spanish. Feliz
There we
Navidad.
go. So thank you once again. And to our listeners, you'll take care and have a blessed holiday season. Have a safe holiday season. And I'll see you in the new year. Peace.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and we're talking about Christmas traditions, right? So I grew up in a bicultural family. What does that mean? Okay, that means that there's more than one culture present. My mother is from the Caribbean, and my father is American. So it made things really interesting growing up in Buffalo. Okay, so with people in the Caribbean, and also it's just a thing for a lot of cultures to be food centered, right? So Christmas time was one of those food centered holidays where my mother did a lot of baking, right? And when my sisters and I were old enough to help her, which I was probably around 5 or 6 years old at that time, we would be in the kitchen helping my mom bake cookies. We would be making toffee. We'll be making apple strudel, apple pie, homemade cherry pie, things of that nature. So Christmas was always a time that was filled with fun, food, and music. Right? A lot of music. My family grew up, all of us, either we sang and we played an instrument. My first instrument was acoustic guitar, and my older sister played the piano, my younger sister played the violin, and everybody sang, right? My father plays the piano and sings. So there was always a lot of music around. So one of the main things I remember as a kid, one of the traditions that we had was on Christmas Eve was, we would all sit around in the living room. We'll get our instruments out. We'll get the hymnal out, and we'll go to the hymnal book and look for the Christmas songs, Away in the Manger, First Noel, all the traditional Christmas songs. And we would just take maybe a half an hour and we would just sing and have fun and play our instruments. And then my father would, he would get out, the box set of Christmas music. Like I said before, my family was very musical. So and we would all listen to like Nat King Cole and Elvis and Motown records, and it was just so fabulous. So that's how I grew up for many, many years. And even now as a grown up, one of the things that I love to do is I love to bake brownies. So the brownie baking this time of the year, I started getting all my stuff in October, beginning of November. So I have taken it upon myself to bless my neighbors and my coworkers and people at my church with brownies. Okay. And my younger sister, she makes all the sugar cookies. Okay. So that's her thing. I like brownies. She likes cooking. And then my older sister, she likes making things. She's very crafty, just like my mother. So she would sew you something. She would make you something. And it's just been really, really nice. So there's my scoop. That's how I grew up celebrating Christmas. And there you go. I hope that you enjoyed my story. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hi, this is Millie from Connecticut, letting you know about one of the best Christmas times during the season for me is when I was young. I grew up with my 4 brothers and my mom, and during that time we had this silver Christmas tree and it had this light that went with it with different colors on it. And when that light turned, it changed colors of the Christmas tree, the green, yellow, blue. I mean, it was just beautiful. To us, it was just beautiful. And we used to make gingerbread cookies and everything. And I remember midnight, my mother said, okay, you can open one gift. And we just couldn't wait till midnight. But during those times, we had fun. I mean, we was like the Jackson 5. We had our music, we had our toys, and it was just a wonderful time. But 3 of my brothers, they have passed on. But I just want you to know that even though during this holiday, you think about family, your family, the number's not the same, your family's shrinking. But guess what? That's still your family. So keep loving harder and just remember that today, the present, that's a true gift. Happy holidays. Bye.
Hey guys, Alicia with Minnesota Vit Friends showing you how myself and my family celebrate Christmas. First, you gotta wear the ridiculous Christmas outfits. That's a must. And second is our family Christmas tree. And every year we get a special ornament for the family. There's ours this year with our cat and our dog. And then also I have a son and we get him an ornament for himself each year. So then when he leaves the nest, he will have his own ornaments to start his own tree. But we also try to do ornaments wherever we go visit. So like here's one from the Netherlands when we got to go there in 2017, which was an amazing trip. And we also try to get one from whenever we go to a conference from that city for vitiligo. So our tree is a collection of memories, and that's what our family Christmas tree is all about. And that's what Christmas is all about, is sharing memories with your family and loved ones. So have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Bye.
Christmas in the Caribbean is very different to that of the US. I have had the privilege to spend Christmas both in the United States and, well, here in Trinidad where I'm from, and I could definitely say that nothing compares to a Trini Christmas. There is a lot of chatter around the world and on the internet around several different cultures and what Christmas is the best. But for me, as a Caribbean woman, as a Trini woman, I could definitely say that I feel like we have the best Christmas. Because Trinidad and Tobago has such a heavy multicultural society and such different influences from different cultures, I feel like we get the best of not just both worlds, but several different worlds. We have a very heavy East Indian culture, very Spanish influenced culture, and also African, Chinese, just a melting pot of people and cultures combined. So that makes our Christmas a really, really remarkable one, because we have foods from all different types of influences, like Indian foods, mostly Spanish influenced dishes around Christmas time. Things like pastels, which is like this really nice corn. I don't know how to describe it. It's like made with corn flour, meat on the inside. It has like olives. Some people put raisins, some people don't, but it's just really, really good. Then we have a lot of, you know, the familiar things like ham, and we do eat the turkey and stuff too, but we don't celebrate Thanksgiving here. We have it more on Christmas Day. Different type of music that I would say really kind of makes our Christmas unique is parang. So if you have ever heard what parang music is, we have managed to merge soca music and parang music to have soca parang, which is a really fun and interesting type of music that is played around this time of year. On the topic of parang, even though parang is a type of music, we also use the word parang to describe the act of visiting someone during Christmas. So for example, we would say in our lingo, I'm going and parang by somebody's house this Christmas, which would mean I'm going to hang out at somebody's house. Usually among other times of the year, if you're doing something like that, we might use the term lime. So you might say I'm going on lime by my friend this evening, or going by my buddy or my partner on lime this weekend. But around Christmas time, we say I'm going to parang by my friend. So it's very like, our culture is, we are known as the party central of the Caribbean, and Christmas is no different time to party than, you know, any other time throughout the year. Trinbagonian people love to party. We love to hang out, we love to lime, we love to drink and have a good time. Not like we're alcoholics or anything. We just love everything that's festive. And I think if you ever get a chance to visit Trinidad and Tobago, Christmas time is one of the best times to do so. It's also leading into our carnival, which happens very early in the next year. So our carnival celebrations kind of already start within the Christmas season too. So that in itself even boosts the party and the festive spirit a lot more. Another thing about our Christmas festivities is that people use this time of year to do a lot of redecorating. And I'm not talking about just like painting. I'm talking about like major remodeling. People remodel their whole homes around this time. Of course, with the economy now, a lot of that has kind of minimized, but you still have a lot of people that rush during the Christmas season to remodel their homes, change things up and give it like a fresh kind of boost for the next year. And all of these things really just make the Christmas season feel really festive and bright here. I know that a lot of countries have different things that they do to celebrate Christmas, but I feel as though nothing could compare to a true Trini Christmas. And if ever I am no longer living here, I cannot see myself not coming back home for Christmas, because I think nothing compares to a true Trini Christmas. So yeah.
Well, hello there, and welcome to our VIP Friends office here in Boston, Massachusetts. My name is Valerie Molyneux, President, CEO, founder of this amazing organization. My assignment today is to tell you a little bit about my Christmas and holiday traditions. Thank you, Mark Braxton, for doing this. This is so wonderful. For me, growing up as a child, most important because I'm from a religious family, going to church from very little, as young as I could remember, and having a poem to say as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, on up to teenagehood. The poetry that we would learn and memorize and share, the songs and the production that we would do was our main key tradition because of its spiritual principles. But then as a family, dinner, the food. And the best for me then was what we would call rum cake or black cake, and I wanted it from everywhere and from everyone. And along with that was caroling. Oh my goodness. We would go door to door, house to house, caroling and singing the joyful songs of the season. We would get treats, we would get candy, we would get apple, and again we would get cake. So those were for me some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful childhood memories. And I pray that as we folks raise children, that they will try to bring some of those traditions as to the reason for the season. It's not all about the gifts and getting, but it's about giving. How can we give back? If it's giving back in singing and giving back and making a joyful sound, that is so key. My wish for our amazing, amazing national and international vitiligo community is the very best of joy, peace, love, and happiness. May God bless you all. May He increase you in every areas of your walk in this life. And may you have a bright and prosperous 2025. Love and blessings from Valerie Molyneux and the entire Vit Friends team. Bye-bye for now.
A little bit about our family Christmas. Over the years, the dynamics of the family has changed a bit, including this year because we no longer have my dad. But one of the family traditions that I would always do for my folks was to put up the Christmas tree. Even when I lived somewhere else, I would come back and set up the tree, and my mom would put decorations up. My father was never a Christmas tree person, but he enjoyed looking at the lights and everything. And for me, I love the lights. I like driving at night, seeing all the decorations, and it's the music, the happiness of the music. It's the sounds of the season with the bells and everything. I wish we had snow. We don't have snow here, but this is North Carolina. We could get snow. Rarely during Christmas, but it could be cold or it could be warm. We never know. But I think it's just the season itself is a time for joy. Even in our pain and sorrow, it's still a time for joy, a time for celebration, a time for family to get together and celebrate each other, and that's what we need to do. We need to continue to celebrate each other and make sure that we spread some happiness, some joyfulness, love, because this world needs it. And this is the perfect time to do it going into the following year, going into 2025. Let's continue to spread love. Y'all take care. Thank you. And as I always say, remember to love yourself as you love other people. Peace.